Austin FC opens up rivalry week tonight for their first match in 11 days as they take on 5th place FC Dallas. The Verde and Black are looking for their 4th win at home. For years after his injury, Jay Favors was living in a very dark place, saying he had almost given up on himself. But before last baseball season, the Express gave the Round Rock native a whole new perspective. The annual Big 12 Media Days took place in Arlington this week, and many players on the offensive side shared a greater level of confidence they have for this season. The reason being, they know who their starting quarterback is. Even though it's the offseason, high school football teams all over Texas are still putting in work by gearing up for the annual 7-on-7 tournament as they prepare for the fall. Westlake has done a lot of winning over the years. However, their 54-game and 3-state title streak came to an end last season in the state semifinals. But this year, they're ready to start a new one. Now that may be tough since they only have 3 starters returning on defense. From soccer to golf to volleyball, Texas softball coach Mike White has played a lot of sports growing up, but what many people don't know about him is that he was also quite the handyman. Texas enters the Super Regional this weekend, surpassing many outsiders' preseason expectations. One player who embodies that is pitcher LeBaron Johnson, who has the most wins on the team. Ewers in Texas will open up their season on September 2nd hosting Rice, but will head to Tuscaloosa the week after to take on Alabama, the same team that Ewers got injured playing against last year. 17 stops have led Coach Dimitri Kokors's career to Texas, but his most meaningful one was on the international circuit.
Having 4 grandparents born and raised in Greece, growing up in the Greek Orthodox Church, being an altar boy, going to Sunday school every Sunday, going to Greek school on Mondays, being Greek is a big part of who I am.
So even after he had already taken the role of a pitching coach for a Major League Baseball organization in the Toronto Blue Jays, representing his heritage was a chance he could not pass up.
In 2020, during quarantine, I was lucky enough where Rai Pathakos, who was the manager and kind of recruiter for the Greek national team, reached out to me on Twitter and wanted to know if I was interested in an opportunity of coaching with the team. And I said, absolutely.
Kokors found success during his tenure on the Greek national team. In 2021, he served as Greece's pitching coach during the European Baseball Championship and even helped the team prevent relegation.
That European Championship was one of the purest forms of baseball I've ever been around, where you have a bunch of individuals, some still playing baseball collegiately, some having played independent ball or professional baseball but had long been retired from that. And we're all coming together with one singular goal in mind, and that's to win.
Now that he's in charge of the Express bullpen, Kokors uses experience from a long history of moving from team to team to help pitchers improve.
It's wearing all those hats. And putting that all together and again, picking from the toolbox to see what the player needs and getting on the same page with them to bring out the best version of them or have them bring out the best version of themselves so that they can, perform when the team needs it the most.
While the skills Kokors teaches his players may be more geared toward on-field performance, he believes they can be important away from the diamond.
I think it's those life skills that you end up developing from baseball if you're really committed to it and listen to what the game's trying to tell you. And I firmly believe that the guys that walk away from baseball, having learned those lessons, not only become successful baseball players, but also become successful in life.
Trying to make a difference, one team at a time. Robert Gonsoulin, KXAN News. The Elite 11 showcases arguably the best quarterback talent at the high school level every summer, but even for a top-ranked prospect, getting an invite to the camp comes as a huge honor.
And I was like, this is nuts, no way.
Hutto football's Will Hammond had been in contact with Texas Tech recruiting for a while, but it wasn't until months later when he decided where he should take his career's future.
Really what it is like a childhood dream come true.
And not long after he made his commitment, other storied Power 5 football programs like Oregon, Auburn, and Tennessee started taking closer looks at Hammond.
It's flashy and it creates an opportunity and maybe some money you can send back to your family if that's really what you need. But what I'm really looking for is getting developed in college and going on to the next level after that.
But despite being able to play for these big-time programs, for Hammond, nothing compared to the relationship he had built with the Red Raiders.
Tech was there from day one, like spring of 2 years ago, and then they text me like every day. So that's really what recruiting should look like.
But for now at Hutto, one final season remains for Hammond to lead a team that missed the playoffs last year to greater heights this year.
Just kind of like no BS, just really get after it. I'm going to be the best leader I can for you, and I'm going to push you to the max, and you're either going to respond or you're not, and you're going to have to make a decision, and whether you want to help the team or whether you don't, and that's kind of going to determine how you're going to help the team and how the team sees you.
Excited about the future and tomorrow, but focusing on the challenges of today. For the first time since January, the Cowboys were back on the field yesterday for their first preseason game. They opened up at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Mike McCarthy entered the game leading America's team for the 4th season in a row as the head coach. First drive of the game, we have Trevor Lawrence rolling out to his left, looking for an open receiver, throws it to the left sideline, but it's picked off by Wanye Thomas of the Dallas Cowboys. Jaguars didn't start off the game too nice there, but they'd get the ball back later, still scoreless. Here's DeMarvion Overshown, the Texas alum, with a nice stop on 3rd and short. Overshown would finish the night with 6 total tackles, but under 5 minutes to go, Trevor Lawrence throws it up the middle to Texas A&M alum Christian Kirk for the first score of the game. Jags will go up 8-0 on there, but Will Greer stepped up here, throwing it across the field to Jaden Tolbert for the Cowboys' first score of the game. And then here's Deuce Vaughn taking it up the middle for a 26-yard run. He would turn this entire drive into his own show. A couple plays later, here's Greer connecting with Vaughn again on a nice 9-yard reception. Down near the goal line, he would get pretty hard, but Vaughn would make up for that on the next play. Vaughn takes it up the middle for his first ever NFL career touchdown of his first ever touchdown. Jacksonville would go on to beat Dallas 28-23. And as for the Cowboys, they play their second preseason game against the Seattle Seahawks next Saturday night at 9 p.m. Kickoff will be at Lumen Field. The Longhorns have been trying to perfect every aspect of their offense, defense, and special teams before the season starts in September against the Rice Owls. Each year, preseason expectations for Texas have varied, but this season, players seem to be very hopeful and confident about the progress they have made so far with their talent. This morale matches their 12th ranked spot in the preseason coaches poll. But as for Coach Steve Sarkisian, he couldn't care less where they're ranked.
You know what's funny? I don't even know what day it was. Whatever the day it was that the coaches poll came out, because not one person on our building even talked about it.
As the school year quickly approaches, volleyball season is right around the corner, and for a team that's entering as the returning national champs, they're already focused on the next trophy. Yesterday afternoon, the Longhorns played in their annual orange and white scrimmage, and lots of fans were in attendance. Here's Asia O'Neal with a nice block to win the first set for the white team. But then Marina Crownover would take over in the 3rd and 4th set. Here's her with a nice kill. And then here in the 4th set, she would also continue that momentum for the orange team with a nice pass to Jordan Bird to help them win the set for the orange team. The coaches would then call it right there as they didn't want to overwork or overtire their own players. However, the team plays on Friday again in their next scrimmage against A&M Corpus Christi, the same team that Texas soccer scrimmaged against yesterday. Here's the early score, 1-0 by Jilly Shimkin for the first score of the game. But then after that, Avery Clark would kind of take over. Here's a goal by her from up the middle, making it 3-0 Texas. She wouldn't be done there. She'd have the next goal by Texas, kind of scoring from the same exact spot where she scored the first time, making it 4-0. Texas would go on to win the entire match 6-0 over A&M Corpus Christi. Texas opens up the regular season on the road against Long Beach State on Thursday night at 9 p.m. That does it for sports. Robert Gonsoulin, KXAN News.